Man, it's slow. Wow, that was a big delay there. I didn't think it was going to work. Hey, buddy, we just recorded the show. Unfortunately, as people will find out when they listen on Sunday, we had a slight miscommunication with John. He thought it was Sunday in his head, so we started recording without him. So he apologized. We're going to reschedule. That's one of those things. It happens. So all good. How have you been, buddy? You said in the
Good.
real show you're going to tell everybody in the pre-show. So
I'm absolutely exhausted, Graham. Absolutely exhausted.
this is
It's
the
been.
300,000 steps this month. That's an impressive achievement.
I didn't even do that at Disney, and there's a lot of walking at Disney. This is what I call Disney training, Graham, for sure. 'Cause you've got to do
Ah,
a lot of hills, Graham, for sure. Disney. You haven't even been, Graham. You wouldn't know that, of
I
course.
have not. No.
But unlike that hill in New Jersey, which you said wasn't more than 2%, it was like K2, I swear. You would struggle with these
I've
hills.
told you a million times not to exaggerate.
You would struggle with some of the hills in Animal Kingdom for sure.
I'm a pretty good walker. You got to remember, I started a month early on this. Well, I've only done 10,000, not
Graham,
11,000.
Graham,
So.
Graham. Some of these hills are pretty steep though. So
Okay.
after a couple of days doing them, you're going to be tired. Trust, I
I've
guarantee
hiked up
you.
the tallest mountain in Yellowstone Park, so
I, I'm
admittedly a few
being
years ago, but
I'm being heckled by somebody. What?
Disney's pretty flat. There's no hills at Disney.
Do not prove his point.
I had a feeling he was backing me up. I could not hear what he said, unfortunately, but
He said Disney's pretty flat. It's not hilly at Disney. Everyone's against me, I know, aren't they?
Is it like the
Fine.
Netherlands, Chris?
It's not like the Netherlands, no.
Now, I was curious to ask
I've
you.
never had him do that on the pre-show before.
Not film and culture's worse than anything in Disney.
That's a niche reference, but okay.
I wanted to ask you about the walk-in. So
Yes.
obviously you talked about earlier in the year, your aim was to ridiculously try and get down to Finn Balor's weight, which would have been
I
an even
was losing
it was
quite
far.
well.
I was curious, and I haven't asked. I didn't ask you in the first few weeks. Has there been any weight loss as you've been doing your 11,000 steps a day?
I definitely think there has been. I haven't weighed myself for a while because I've been feeling self-conscious.
Okay,
However,
I was
however,
curious whether you were checking or not.
I have been having to pull my trousers up a lot, even with my belt.
That would be a definite sign. I had the same thing. I have to wear a belt now with certain pair,
I
and
I wear a
there's
belt,
extra
but
notches going on there as well.
I've got one of those fabric belts, so literally you stick it through wherever it goes, sort of thing. So I don't know exactly how many notches it is, but the fact that I'm going to keep pulling them up, that's got to be a good sign.
Mm. Now, I did want to check to see if you, as we're talking about, obviously, keeping fit and etc. etc. Do you know the best way to burn 1,000 calories?
Throw them up on the fire.
Leave the pizza in the oven. Didn't get a reaction. Chris got the giggle. Not me. All right. Well, I tried. I had that written down in my notes. I'm like, I got to try and sneak it in at some point. That's a very delayed reaction right there.
It's good, but I think mine was better.
Uh-huh.
So
So what do you got to talk to us about then?
well,
Petrol shortages?
petrol shortages, no, but I do want to talk about something car related. I can talk about this because it's out there in the world, so I'm allowed to talk about this. This week, my sister was involved in a car accident. She's absolutely fine. She's got some bruising, but she's absolutely fine. But it made me just wanted to remind people that it doesn't matter how safe a driver you are. Sometimes your car can just have an issue. I mean, tire blew out for her.
Mm-hmm.
She was able to slow down before, and miraculously didn't hit anybody when she rolled it. So she's absolutely fine. The car did its job, and it kept her really really safe. She got out with a couple of bruises. Minor miracle for sure. But other people may not be quite so lucky. So make sure you go get your car checked on a regular basis. get your tyres checked on a regular basis, especially when weather conditions change. It's not a joke. People think, I've been driving for years, I've never had an accident. Just need to be that one time. Just need to be that one time you can have an accident. So yeah, it's a bit of a humbling thing to just like remind people. Just, you know, cars are dangerous. So the reason to take a license to have one and be able to drive one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like I said, you just don't know when something's going to happen. It can be totally not your fault. Yeah, parts fail. It's a machine. Things are going to happen. I know I definitely haven't told you this. I had an uncle who died in a motorcycle accident before I was even born. I never got to meet him.
Terrible.
So yeah, it happens, unfortunately. You just got to be. But like you said, you can do things to decrease your odds, like checking your tires regularly and make sure you get your car serviced and things like that. But yeah, I'm glad to hear your sister's good, because we were talking about it, and it was around that same time I was talking with my wife, and it was like, hey, should we go get? Do you want me to go get Jackson? Shall I get Jackson? Blah blah blah. And we kind of got our messages totally mixed up. And yeah, it was a little confusing. And then I meant to follow up with you later, and then life kind of took over. Then I started making dinner, and then I was like, oh, geez, it's like 11 o'clock p.m. there. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you're working in the morning. So, yeah, I didn't get to follow up with you at all on that. So,
yeah, she's grand scheme of things, she's very good. Can't write off, obviously, but minor miracle. As I said, she did all the right thing because she could feel it starting to go, so she started to decrease deeper speed, and she got she was moving towards a lay-by when it went. So even if you do everything right, sometimes it's going to happen. So yeah, just remember, if you can, give yourself a bit extra time to just check things every now and again.
What do you call a pig that does karate? A
Pork
chop. Oh, you knew it. Very good.
I still hang around the mags too much, I think.
Yeah, we haven't done Get the Giggle for a while, so I made a note of a few ones. Like, I'll try and throw them in periodically. Now, I want to talk about, I nearly wasted this and posted this on Twitter, and I was like, no. I was like, I'm going to save this because I want to see Matt's reaction to this. This is a bad cop moment on me. I saw a promotion on Facebook for Red Lobster, and today is apparently National Lobster Day. Now, they're doing $5 appetizers today, and they're normally about $14, their appetizers, because obviously seafood is more expensive. One of the appetizers is a lobster pizza. I was like, well, that's kind of unique. I was like, the boys like to try different, unique opportunities. So I was like, hey, that's probably one of the things we'll get. Now, it's only a $5 appetizer if you purchase an entree. So I was like, all right, let me kind of look on the menu ahead of time so I can see what they have. One of the entrees that they do, and to me, this is a terrible cop moment. Fish and chips. Nothing wrong with fish and chips. Perfectly okay. Except when you order the meal, it comes with fish, and you have to choose the side that you want with it. Now, if you're having fish and chips, Matt, I think there's only one choice of side, right? And you shouldn't even have to say what it is. It's chips, right?
Well, you would think so, yes.
I would have thought so as well. So I was curious, like, what could you have with fish and call the meal fish and chips? One of the options is rice, which that's fish and rice. That's not fish and chips. The other one that you can get is Brussels sprouts, which I've never had fish and Brussels sprouts together, and that's not fish and chips either. But here's the part where you're going to be really disappointed with me. I guess over 40 years, I didn't realize that they were called Brussels sprouts. I thought they were called Brussels sprouts. I didn't realize it was plural. Like, I realize there's a place in Belgium called Brussels. Like, I understand that, and I assume that that's where they come from. I thought I thought there was a spelling mistake on the Red Lobster, and I'm there, ha ha ha, Red Lobster spelt this wrong. Went straight onto Google, and it's like, do you mean Brussels sprouts?
You're an idiot.
It is Brussels sprouts. I had no idea. I thought it was Brussels sprouts. I feel kind of stupid.
I've got to say, Graham, having gone onto said website, Graham, because I've not quite quickly found it, hand-battered wild-caught cod served with coleslaw, tartar sauce, and one side. We suggest French fries.
They do suggest, but there shouldn't even be a need to suggest. If you have fish and chips, you have chips.
there could be reasons for that, Graham, such as, for example, they may want for dietary reasons.
All right. If I had one of the microphones that you use, I would do it right now. Order something else. If you don't want chips, then don't order fish and chips. Like, how complicated is that? You can order fish. Fish is on their menu. It is Red Lobster. They do have seafood. You can go ahead and scroll a little bit if you like,
But if you want cod, Graham, that's the only option they've got. And some people want cod
How
with
many
rice.
people do you think have ever said, "Oh, I really fancy some fish and chips. Give me Brussels sprouts as a side"?
That is
do you
a
think that has
strange one.
ever happened?
That is a combination, and I like my Brussels sprouts as well. I can honestly say that I've never heard of that combination.
I have only ever had Brussels sprouts with something like with chicken or with beef or with ham or something like. Never with fish.
Does that mean I wouldn't try it? No.
Huh. Coming to patients in an NHS soon.
No, but I'd be happy to give it a try because at the end of the day, you don't know if combination is going to work. These are things like chili and chocolate, for example, shouldn't work on paper, work brilliantly together, for example. I imagine when someone first put cheese and onion together, they thought, "You're mad putting soured milk with that root vegetable." Works a treat.
It happens. Anyway, I was trying to do it today. We went. I was with you for Techers at the start. No, I was in the chat for Techers, I should say, while you were doing that. And then I left because we went to play some disc golf. Jackson actually beat his record. It took him a year. Like he went from 142 shots down to 69 shots in around a year, and he's been stuck on that for a long time. Anyway, he has some new discs now. He's a lot stronger as well. Last week he shot a 66. We went out this morning. He had another 66, and then in the second round he shot another 66. So he was within, I think, 3 or 4 shots of me today, Matt. That's a little scary that my 7-year-old is that close to beating me already. Mason beat me a couple of times today, which unfortunately is not unusual anymore. But I can still give him a pretty good game most of the time. But yeah, my 7-year-old was particularly impressive. After we left, I went onto the Red Lobster app because I wanted to order the stuff, pick it up, and then couldn't get it, couldn't figure it out. By the time I came home, it said that somebody had already said, like, how do I get it? Like, there's no link to this. There's no code that you can use. And somebody typed it in the chat and they said basically, oh, you have to add the appetizer. Then you have to scroll down to the bottom of the page and then you click the appetizer. Way too complicated. Nobody had figured it out. It was not a good system. So anyway, we already have something planned for dinner. So I guess we won't be trying out. Lobster pizza was one we wanted to try. And they also have tortilla chips with a lobster dip, which sounded kind of nice as well. But we won't be having that either. So
I have heard of lobster pizza though, Graham, because they had it on Hell's Kitchen back in season.
Now you were holding up one finger,
14.
which made me think
14.
you were trying to think of what the word was for one for a second.
Season 14. I think it's
I'm not saying it's not. It's kind of an exotic one. It's not what I would normally have, but for $5, I was like, sure, we'll try something a little different.
And it was judged by Wolfgang Puck.
I do not know who that is. Is he a hockey player?
Wolfgang Puck is Chef Ramsay's mentor.
Oh, never heard of him. Matt, before you start on, before you carry on. Why did the pony ask for a glass of water? It was a little horse.
I like that.
That's good, right?
I like that. I want to keep talking about Red Lobster, Graham.
Okay.
Because these Brussels sprouts are fried, by the way.
I've heard that people have said that they're really good.
They're
like
crispy
most people don't normally talk complimentary about Brussels sprouts, but people I saw who were commenting in the chat were talking about how good they actually were. So
let me put it this way. I'm going to put it in the context for you. Okay, we're talking about calories because that's the best way of doing it. Okay, you can have green beans, you can have rice, you can have the crispy Brussels sprouts, you can have the mashed potatoes, you can have the creamy langoustine, lobster mashed potatoes, you can have a baked potato, you can have the Norway lobster with creamy langoustine baked potato. You can have a French fry, you can have a coleslaw, the Caesar salad, the house salad, and broccoli.
Some of those you have to pay additional for. Like certainly the lobster mashed potato, I think was like $4 extra.
Anything with lobster potato is $5, and the same for the baked potato with the lobster as well. So, off all of those, how many the French fries for context? French fries for context are 510 calories. Okay. The creamy mashed potato. The mashed potatoes without the lobster are 190 calories, and with the lobster, they're 320.
Yeah.
How many calories do you think the Brussels sprouts are?
Well, you're talking to the math person, and I'm normally pretty good with numbers. I think if I remember correctly, it was a ridiculous 390 calories.
Ooh, very close.
Yeah.
380 calories.
Yeah, I knew I was in. I'm pretty good with remembering because I remember seeing that at the time, and I was like, for Brussels sprouts, I was like, wow, that's obviously soaked in butter or something.
Fried.
Yeah.
They're deep fried, bro. They're deep fried.
I have to admit, they I do want to try them though. I do want to try them, but not at the expense of fries.
But the thing, we shouldn't knock something just because we haven't tried it.
Oh,
once you've had it, yeah. But I've never heard of it. But at the same time, did you know that I mean, talking about Gordon Ramsay, of course. He deep fried his cauliflower.
Oh.
I didn't know that. I didn't know until season 10 of Hell's Kitchen.
Scottish people do have a reputation for deep frying things, much like they do in the south of America as well.
Usually in batter, but not in this case.
Oh, okay.
As proven when the Grand Tour went to Scotland, it was Jamie Clarkson's birthday. Richard Hammond made spaghetti bolognese and then proceeded to put it under the grill to make it go hard, and then covered it in flour and batter and fried it. I kid you not, it was triple cooked spaghetti bolognese.
Talking about foods, how was your ice lolly that you were eating during the start of recording today?
Which one?
You had more than one?
That's my fourth of the day. By the way, Greg, you've got
to. Why are you having four? Okay, why do you need 4 ice lollies in one day?
Why not? But just so you know, Graham, you've got some crispy Brussels sprouts coming your way, by the way, Graham.
I've got what coming my way?
Brussels sprouts.
What do you mean I've got some Brussels sprouts coming my way?
Well, I've ordered them for you. I don't know where to your house.
You're an idiot. No, you haven't.
What
the hell are you doing?
$2.49.
It'd be more to ship them. You're an idiot. I actually did think for the boys, perhaps evening snack. I did think about actually ordering something because I saw that they had the Kung Pao chicken. I know I'm not really a seafood person, but I'm more interested in chicken. I thought I could order that as an entree because I like that, and then I could order the pizza for the boys, and we could try that. Hey,
you'll be happy about Kung Pao chicken, Graham. That was the main course at lunch today for my patients. They have Kung Pao chicken every other Saturday.
I got one more for you, Matt.
Wait.
Why did the Scarecrow win an award?
I'm going to regret this one. Go on.
He was outstanding in his field. That's pretty good. That's very. I thought that was clever. The only other one I had, you've probably heard of before. What did the policeman say to his belly button?
You're under a vest.
You're under a vest. Yeah. Classic one. Old one.
You can't go on with a classic, Graham. You can't go on with a classic. Speaking of classics, Graham, without any spoilers for the upcoming MGB episode, what was your did you see anything which thought, okay, that was a really good match from the CXW show that I showed you the link for, by the way?
I really liked the opening event, the battle royal that they changed to, because you got to see, because a lot of people obviously I didn't know, so you got to see, and obviously they appeared later in the show, but I like the fact that you got to see them, you had an idea of what the characters were, and they're always fun. There's a lot going on, there's a lot to keep you entertained. There's never really a dull moment in those things. I particularly like that one. I was very impressed with, and somebody who you said as well, and I apologize, I do not remember her name, but the match that she had was very good.
Luna.
Luna, yeah, I was very impressed with Luna's match. I thought that I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, it's been more of that coming soon on MGB for sure. How many times did you see me on the front row, by the way?
Lots. Like it was within the first 10 seconds because they went. The person went around the ring giving high fives, and that you were on the far side. But by the time they'd got around, so that was the first time that we saw you. So, but yeah, Mason and I watched it independently. We normally do because I don't want to. I don't really want to discuss my kind of feelings with him about it because I'd rather save that for the show. So we normally watch things independently.
That's quite a cool insight to see a little bit behind the scenes of how your show works. It's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of surreal watching it back a little bit myself because I was being there for it, seeing myself there. I'm like,
Yeah.
because that's how. Because obviously, I don't seeing someone you know in the crowd. It's kind of weird because I remember seeing you and Mason in the crowd at an event because you gave me a DVD about it. It was great seeing you guys at ringside for that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's kind of cool. But you can say I was ringside for something, and my friends were able to see me ringside for it, so they knew
But
I
it's
wasn't.
also the fact that obviously you saw it from a very particular frame of reference, your seat. So if you remember a specific match, you probably remember it from exactly that angle, whereas the camera was not in that angle at all. So if you're rewatching some of that, it's sometimes you see things that are slightly different. You get a very different perspective of the match, or perhaps if something's happening on the far side of the ring, particularly when you have events where they spill out the side, you often get to catch things that you didn't always see. But yeah, it sometimes can be interesting to go back and watch a match. Obviously for for JGB recently, we went back and watched the event that we were at, Orange Cassidy's. I don't even know what it's called, something, whatever. Who knows? Yeah, you know.
Orange County doing something or whatever.
That. So we obviously watched that, and the same thing. Like he loved the fact that he could say, "There's Bat." He didn't care that I was there. He had no interest in that at all because I'm sat next to him.
That
But he
means
was really
so
excited
much.
that he could see, "There's Bat again."
Because I haven't seen Jackson on camera for maybe a year. Because he's usually either at school or he's doing something else. He's been told to keep it down because he's kids.
Yep.
And so the fact that he remembers that he's remembering what I look like, sort of thing, that means a lot to me.
Yeah, it was fun watching those events again. I think I might have to look to see if any more are appropriate for him. We haven't actually done a JGB in a couple of weeks. We released 3 in a row last time, but I think that might be how it probably works for him. Kind of get him down here, do 3 10-minute lots, and then take it away. Like he still wants to do something. He just doesn't want to do anything massive. And I'm happy to take whatever time I can get with JJ, kind of recording these moments because I think they're fun. I do need to go back and listen to 205-Year-Old Live sometime because I've listened to one and it was like, oh my gosh, it was so cool that I have some of that actually recorded and documented.
Yeah, I still love. This is the 205-Year-Old Live podcast. Not even 5-year-old yet, but next week I will. Next month. Next month. So adorable.
Yeah, it was.
You got to be thanking. You got to be thinking that when you play that at your 21st birthday. I tell you.
Yeah,
he'll be a superstar by then.
He's very different. I can say he's not even at the age where Mason was recording. He still has another 2.5 years, I think it is, until he's at the age when Mason started to record. To me, that's kind of mind blowing. But
you done it well. You did a great job of keeping away from wrestling, Graham. You did a great job of keeping away from wrestling.
that was not one of my, I don't want to say proudest moments, but yeah, it was not. That went so far away from plan. But yeah, obviously, like I said, we didn't even think about it. We didn't even ask if he wanted to be part of it. It was obvious he would. Why wouldn't he want to do the same thing that his dad and brother are doing? Like, it's so obvious with hindsight, but we just didn't.
As your good wife said to me 3 years ago, God, 3 years ago, they're bad at each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or you're literally the third. You're just an overgrown child, and that's why we love you, Graham. We're back next week, guys. We're out of here.
Boom. You got the button. You have the power.
I clicked it. Won't stop
No,
for
you
me.
didn't. Still says recording.
Yeah, because
I didn't